best thing about Philippines is people.
The people are friendly.
The Filipinos.
Filipino people are very awesome people.
The people.
The people?
The people.
I think so far it's the best country we have traveled to. Mostly thanks to the people.
I organized the balloon fiesta. The Philippine International Hot Air Balloon Fiesta is not just balloon flying. We call it a weekend of everything that flies because we have airplanes, we have kites, skydiving. This is the only place where you can get the balloon rides, especially here in the Philippines. Everybody wants to come early in the morning. You know, in the Philippines, the wind is calm early in the mornings. And this is when the balloons are able to fly. I mean, the balloons is the surest way to put a smile into everybody's face. This year, I think I have about 29 balloons from about 12 different countries. Well, the attendees were now up to about 110,000, 120,000. This is one of the few fiestas in the Philippines wherein it attracts 2-year-old up to 70-year-old. We use the word fiesta because it's very Filipino. It's a celebration of life. Okay, you can see the Beagle balloon there. The Beagle is trying to stand up, and there's a race car that has a flat tire, but eventually will get going. The clown balloon has the sad face, but as soon as the wind turns, he will be smiling. The chili pepper, of course, these balloons are like 700 kilos. Without any air, without anything, without any passengers. So they really have to have a little bit of muscle to control these balloons when the wind is strong. You know, I always say that ballooning is the most romantic way of flying. You know, with the airplane, you go against the wind. But with the balloon, you slowly rise up in the air. You slowly flow with the wind. You slowly see the sights and the sounds. Dogs barking, roosters crowing. I mean, people waving at you. You see everything, and that's where you really enjoy flying.
This is so great. This is what we're all doing it for, the freedom. Look around you, open space, the adventure. You know where you're launching, you don't know where you're going to land. This is ballooning.
Peter, he has his Nelly bee, which is shaped like an elephant, a pink elephant.
No, you didn't drink too much last night. You're seeing pink elephants.
He's flown it all over the world as well. But he keeps on coming back to the Philippines because he feels at home.
Look around you, the mountains you got, the volcanoes.
He's the best dressed pilot. He's the only pilot wearing a tie, which matches his elephant balloon as well. So that makes him special.
It was awesome. It was great. That's wonderful. It's perfect. Just trying to reach my crew now. That's going to be the next adventure.
The balloon night afterglow is something that gives a little bit of romance in the air. When you're coming here for vacation, all you think about is being out in the beach. But coming to the Balloon Fiesta is a totally different experience.
And I'm the brewmaster for Palaweño Brewery. We chose Palawan because it's a paradise. We came here and we fell in love, totally head over heels. When people come on vacation, most of them are traveling halfway around the world. And they're coming to Palawan. Do you know that we are voted the best island in the world? So when we're brewing beers, we want that to emulate whatever Palawan is all about. Cheers! Cheers! We try to incorporate what's Palawan, like our honey here. We have 3 kinds of honey in Palawan. And the fruits, we have 2 seasonal beers, a coconut cream ale. Coconut's abundant here. And a mango, a seasonal summer mango IPA. Or we pick some chili from our backyard and make it mango chili. And so they come here, I'm just thinking of white sand. Walking by the beach, it's a hot summer day. At some point, you want to grab hold of a cold one. And that's where we come in. I was working in America, San Diego, California. And then the craft beer industry boomed there. So I was like thinking, oh, man, this would be a welcome change for the Philippines. So I went home, I bought a kit, and then that was 2012, and we started experimenting. There are 4 main ingredients for beer: water, barley, hops, and yeast. And what makes it a local beer is the water, still clean and pure, and the spices of Palawan. So when you add hops, at the beginning of the boil, it's more for the flavor. But when you add hops at the end of the boil, it's more for the smell. We don't pasteurize it, we don't put chemicals, it's not, we don't put any preservative, all natural. We're so happy that our beers are included in the ultimate guide for the best craft beer in the world. We're the only one in the Philippines that got included. Every day, you wake up at 6, start brewing by 7, bottle, label, everything's done manually.
Philippine Tarsier Foundation started in 1996. You know that you are working for something that's good, for a cause. If you want to come and see a tarsier because you like them, it's better if you really go to a place wherein they are taken care of. At least in this way, you are seeing the tarsiers, and the tarsiers are also glad that you came because, you know, your money was put into a place where they were taken care of. It's a 45-million-year-old species, so it's really old. It's actually a very small primate. That's the only primate that eats live prey. And it has really big eyes that's bigger than its brain. One eyeball is bigger than the brain. Because of these huge eyeballs, they cannot move their eyes around. So instead they move their neck, and they can move 180 degrees left and 180 degrees right. They can jump 3 to 5 meters. They're active at night, and they're very calm during the day. And they're only located in specific areas in the world, and one of that is Philippines. Because of the foundation, the Philippine tarsier was known not just in the Philippines, but through the entire world. The foundation owns 8.4 hectares, so that's basically just forest. And there's also a 167 hectare. This is owned by the government, and we are co-managing it for the tarsier conservation. The tarsiers are endangered because of their habitat slowly diminishing, and they only give birth to 1 baby a year. The Philippines is one of the countries that has really good natural resources, and that people are coming here for that. And I think that's one of the things that we should take care in the Philippines, because tourism is one of the biggest livelihood that the Philippines can have. And by taking care of the environment, I believe that Philippines will do really good.
Philippines originally is an archipelagic country, so there are around 300 volcanoes. Each one of them offers a different kind of attraction. I am Paulo Delgado Reniva. I'm the resident volcanologist of Taal Volcano Observatory. Taal Volcano is one of the smallest volcanoes in the world, but definitely one of the most destructive and violent during its eruption activity. This is unique because it's considered as an island within an island within an island. So just imagine the Luzon Island, and there's a big caldera, and in the middle of it is the Taal Volcano Island, and in the middle of the main crater lake is another islet which we call the main crater lake islet, or the Volcan Point. Taal Lake is the main tourist attraction here in Batangas province. It attracts investors for the commercial fishing or fish farming. It attracts tourists who are interested in trekking, horseback riding, or simply sailing on the Taal Lake.
Going up the volcano is pretty tough. It gets quite steep.
but it's definitely worth it. When you get to the top and see the crater, it's pretty spectacular.
You can literally see the bubbles coming out in the water. It gives you a goosebump when you see that.
Anyone interested in earth sciences or interested on how volcanoes form, it's a good attraction for them. Coming to Taal is like entering a time machine. You learn about volcanoes, you learn about the culture of the people living within the volcano. So you learn more about the Philippines.
超简单，却遇到脑筋大结的他。
一根肉，宝宝爬，
不能演，不能嘴巴不能有。
原来琵琶矮，
琵琶矮，喷，皮卡丘，喷，
你这做成效果，连舞台剧一哥也救不了他。
刷。
江湖罕见穿地圈表演，神奇羽毛平衡术。
哇，这个怎么去找这个支点呢？哦，
我好久没有看过那么傻眼的一个东西哦，太不可思议了！
周六晚间8点，综艺非常赞，群星才艺对决大 PK，
请举牌。
面对观众无情的票决，一人叫阵，丝毫不留情面，
根本不用比啊，我们这边就肯定是赢了。
穿很少的，哎呦，真假音你会吗？来，
周六晚间8点，综艺非常赞，阿梅复制人现身，连飞哥都腿软了。
这已经不是模仿，说是复制人了。
复制人呐！
哇，你讲话多像哎！
飞哥好，你回来了，我也回来了。
哎呦！一起回来了，
一起回。
周六晚间8点，综艺非常赞。
上感人、上温暖的亲情大戏《阿爸的愿望》，6月7日起，每礼拜5暗时10点，《阿爸的愿望》。
过站不停是这个游戏的传统吗？
好不好？来喽，慢步啊，况且，
且慢，慢步。哪里来的？
慢步布丁哎。游泳池，池上，上游。我讲你而已。
上感人、上温暖的亲情大戏《阿爸的愿望》。廖俊、应彩玲、杨烈、王豪、黄文兴、吴申梅、萧景宏、蔡昌宪、翁心怡、曾婉婷、谭学斌、杨庆煌、练玉婷、唐玲。6月7日起，每礼拜5暗时10点，华视亲情好戏《阿爸的愿望》。
精选戏剧尽在每周日晚间10点，华视精选剧场。
可是我爱他，
放屁！
慈悲、愤怒让他迷失在偏执的黑暗中，引爆无可挽回的风暴。
幼慈从来不曾和我如此亲密的说说笑笑。
你枪也不敢开，人也不敢打，你真的以为你是地藏王菩萨啊？
去哪里啊？枪毙啊！
不是故意杀你女儿，对不起。
5月27号周日晚间10点，华视精选剧场本院路。
6月30号到7月15号，2018 FIFA World Cup 世足看华视。
我怀疑同这款甲因管吼，都藏伫恁厝内底。
这可能是我最后一个看到你啊！
你是要我将你上晚红彩秘密讲出来？
我袂当这样，等于金甲恁做几做。
也无着。
我知你行袂开口，我替你行。
来过，来到队伍。
拜一到拜五暗时8点，夜市人生，欢喜亲情好戏。
For many people, traveling for pleasure, taking time off, and escaping the daily grind is one of life's joys. In every country in the European Union, it's required. By law, people in the EU have at least 4 work weeks of paid holiday time. But the United States is the only developed country without legally mandated paid vacation. The result is that 1 in 4 Americans don't have a single paid day off. As people in the workforce age, not having time off can be detrimental. According to the Mayo Clinic, not taking time away from everyday stressors can increase the amount of the stress hormone known as cortisol in the body. That can speed up the aging process. In the United States, Americans are focusing more on leisure travel as they get closer to retirement. And a Boston-based nonprofit is helping their globetrotting dreams become a reality. Meet Francie Hayes. The 65-year-old deputy director for a DC-based nonprofit is also a self-proclaimed workaholic.
So I've been really active in my professional life, and that involves being fully engaged at work and with colleagues here in DC, colleagues all around the world.
In Francie's line of work, she has to travel often, usually to underdeveloped countries, and it's taken a bit of a toll over the years.
My identity was really tied up with my profession. I began traveling quite a bit, and that changed family dynamics because I'd be gone for 2 to 3 weeks at a time, and I really valued that. And it had consequences, but at that point in my life, that was really, really important to me.
Francie is one of millions of people whose jobs require frequent travel.
What we do is we show how that, for the most part, society has tended to glamorize travel, particularly frequent travel, business travel.
Professor Scott Cohen is the co-author of a study in the UK that highlights the downfalls of recurring business travel.
And what we've done is we've shown the different ways in which that's glamorized, and then we've brought to the fore all the different darker sides of frequent travel that are physiological, emotional, psychological, that people rarely talk about. There is the disruption to the circadian rhythm that you get through frequent jet lag, and that has chronic effects when this builds over time. So it's not just taking 5 or 7 days to readjust to jet lag. There's also gene disruption that influences aging. There's chronic memory impairment. There's a higher risk of heart attack and stroke as well.
In addition are the emotional and psychological problems, mainly stress. Stressors like long hauls to other countries, inconvenient delays in departure times, and disrupted routines. According to a recent study, not all business travelers experience stress in the same way. Women experience higher levels of stress than men when on the road for business. Workers in the Asia-Pacific region reported the highest levels of travel stress, while people in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa had the least amount. And frequent business travelers had higher levels of stress than people who rarely traveled for work. Dr. Dana Weiner of Emory University says travel-related stress can disrupt other areas of life.
It can really affect us significantly. Looking at the symptoms of stress and the ways that it can interfere, you're looking at self-care. So how does it affect their ability to take care of their physical needs, nutrition, sleep? It also affects social relationships. When you're so focused on all of your own stressors, how can you be present with your family, with loved ones,
I have this conversation with my family members all the time, and I always make the argument, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, that there is good stress as well. I think I thrive on a little bit of stress.
To a certain degree, we need stress. Why would we get out of bed? Why would we do anything? How would we take on challenges? However, and what I notice in business folks that I work with, honestly across the board, is that there is this fantasy, okay, that the harder I work and the more that I just kind of almost like mentally beat myself up, the higher my performance is gonna go. In actuality, we have that point at which we fall off. It's just the fantasy.
Like many professionals, Francie spent much of her career living that fantasy. But now that she's nearing retirement, she says something has changed.
Something switched inside, which was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I loved doing it. I was wholly committed to it. But the time has changed. And it was something internal that switched, and it was a really different change in consciousness. As I embrace that more and more, the pulling back from work has been easier and easier.
67-year-old Louisa Matson is a psychologist in Washington, D.C. She's also a close friend of Francie's. The two women have known each other for nearly 60 years.
I definitely consider myself to be active. I play tennis 4 times a week. I do walking. I like to bike in the summer. Last year, I went on my second horseback packing trip to Montana, which was quite rigorous.
Over the last decade, Louisa has added global travel to her active lifestyle through a nonprofit organization called Road Scholar. Mainly geared toward older adults, the program provides educational travel tours to different locations around the world. So far, Louisa has been on 6 Road Scholar adventures, including hiking in Death Valley and spending time in Costa Rica.
I had heard people say, as you're aging, travel in your 60s because you just don't know how physically able you're going to be for how long. And it really was when I turned 60 that I did have the time and the energy and the sort of financial wherewithal to start traveling. I think as we age, we gain a lot of perspective and wisdom, and traveling just adds to the wealth of experiences that can inform our sense of selves and our sense of humanity and life.
Now, Louisa's adventure is taking her to the Italian countryside of Umbria. For the first time, she's bringing along her friend, Francie.
Louisa was the energy behind it, and she was the one who talked me into doing it. And the whole thing is the opportunity to detach from work. So personally, I hope to learn and to find ways of engaging outside my usual comfort zone in terms of meeting new people and really striking up conversations and not feeling restrained about doing that. Also handling what may be a few physical challenges, knowing I'll have to handle them and being okay with that.
When we come back, as Francie and Louisa head to Italy, we'll explore how leisure travel can affect heart health, possibly adding years to your life.
超简单却遇到脑筋大结的他。
皮跟肉，宝宝跑。
不能演，不能嘴巴不能有。
原来琵琶矮。
琵琶矮，喷！皮卡丘，喷！
你这不能效果。
连舞台剧一哥也救不了他。
刷。
江湖罕见穿地圈表演。神奇羽毛平衡术。
哇，这个怎么去找这个支点呢？哦。
我好久好久没有看过那么傻眼的一个东西，哦，太不可思议了！
周六晚间8点，综艺非常赞，群星才艺对决大 PK，
请举牌。
面对观众无情票决，一人叫阵丝毫不开。
一起回来了，
一起回。
周六晚间8点，综艺非常赞。
上感人、上温暖的亲情大戏《阿爸的愿望》，6月7日起，每礼拜5暗时10点，《阿爸的愿望》。
过阵不停是这个游戏的传统吗？
好不好？来喽，慢步啊，况且
且慢，慢步。哪里来的？
漫步布丁哎！游泳池，池上，上游。夸奖你而已。
上感人、上温暖的亲情大戏《阿爸的愿望》。廖俊、应彩玲、杨烈、王豪、黄文兴、吴申梅、萧景宏、蔡昌宪、翁心怡、曾婉婷、谭学斌、杨庆煌、练玉婷、唐玲。6月7日起，每礼拜5暗时10点，华视亲情好戏《阿爸的愿望》。
精选戏剧尽在每周日晚间10点，华视精选剧场。
可是我爱他，放屁！
慈悲、愤怒，让他迷失在偏执的黑暗中，引爆无可挽回的风暴。
幼慈从来不曾和我如此亲密的说说笑笑。
你枪也不敢开，人也不敢打，你真的以为你是地藏王菩萨啊？
去哪里啊？枪毙啊！
不是故意杀你女儿，对不起。
5月27号周日晚间10点，华视精选剧场本院路。
6月30号到7月15号，2018 FIFA World Cup 世足看华视。
我怀疑同这款第一关吼，就藏伫恁厝内底。
这可能是我最后一个看到你啊！
你是要我将你上晚红彩秘密讲出来？
我要头前啊，等于金家人做几做？
我知你行袂开卡，我替你平。
水果，水果队。
拜1到拜5暗时8点，夜市人生。华视亲情好戏《阿爸的愿望》。阿爸的一双手画起这个家，阿爸的愿望是咱奋斗的目标。6月7日起，每礼拜5暗时10点，华视亲情好戏《阿爸的愿望》。
他读唇语有障碍，一出口吓到众人。
Vacations and holidays are an excellent way to relieve stress. There's evidence that traveling for pleasure can also add years to your life. Research shows that men who didn't take annual vacations had a 30% higher chance of dying from heart disease. And women who didn't take vacations were more than twice as likely to suffer from depression as compared to other women. That's likely because activities associated with travel, like walking the beach, hiking national parks, or museum hopping, are good for our physical and cognitive functions. Best friends Louisa Matson and Francie Hayes explored the Italian countryside to see just how good an international getaway can make you feel.
Pick the truffle, just wash him, you just scramble it on the pasta.
Longtime friends Louisa Matson and Francie Hayes are on an adventure from the United States to the Italian countryside of Umbria through Road Scholar, a nonprofit organization that gives travelers educational tours to cities worldwide. This is Francie's first trip and Louisa's seventh.
Once you get to your location, you don't really have to think about anything, which is nice. You meet fascinating people who are on the trip. You get an educational experience. You feel cared for. It feeds the mind. It feeds the body in multiple ways.
I think the walking is what I really came for. And the vistas, the views are just so much better than anything I could imagine.
The president and CEO, James Moses, says most of their tours are geared toward adults in their 50s and older.
people have begun to understand that learning is a critical part of aging, and that staying engaged intellectually and socially, as well as physically, is critical to a healthy older age. It's not about the quantity of years, it's about the quality of years. And that's really what Rhodes Scholar has championed all this time. Lifelong learning, we think, is a critical element to a healthy older age.
Louisa and Francie are both in their mid-60s and are focusing on their health as they get closer to retirement. Louisa is an avid hiker and tries to stay as active as possible. Francie is shifting her priorities from work and leading a much more active lifestyle than she has in the past.
I think for 65 years I took my good health for granted. And I've learned in the past year I can't do that. And I need to pay attention to my health, and a big part of health is physical health, strength, well-being. All that's really important.
The two women have set aside part of their time in Umbria for what's called adventure travel.
I love being active when I travel, and you just feel so good. You feel virtuous at the end of the morning after your hike, and then you can enjoy the food, and you feel, by the end of the trip, you feel healthier than when you began.
I think for me what's been especially wonderful is the hiking every morning, because the hiking really I have to be in the moment. I have to pay attention to where the path is going, what rock is going to be in the way for me to potentially trip over. And for me, the physical side always seemed like it was going to be a challenge, and I was a little bit concerned. All my concentration had to be used during the hiking, and there's nothing more in the moment.
Remaining physical, even when on vacation, is a large part of staying healthy and fit, especially as we age. But when you're on a big getaway, there are also potential cognitive benefits.
If we're talking leisure, it brings us into a novel situation. When do we do our best learning, right? It's when we're open, mindful. We're learning that we don't all operate the same way. We don't all operate according to the same set of rules. And when you come back home, you look at your own life differently, and you've developed an appreciation for other people.
What impact do you think that sort of leisure time has on aging?
Our brains never stop growing. We're always developing. We can always learn. I think that was something that wasn't always believed, but now, right, we know so much more about neuroplasticity, the ways that we can develop new pathways, the ways that we can learn.
We asked Louisa how she thinks her travels have influenced her cognitive function over the years.
The benefits of travel are that it brings you right into the present moment, because everything is new. You literally don't know what's around the corner. And especially in Umbria, there's so many nooks and crannies and so many corners. So you're constantly in a state of unknowing, a state of surprise. And that really brings you into the moment. You feel more fully alive. It encourages you to have a mindset of openness and curiosity and wonder. One thing I'm promising myself this trip is, can I bring back that mindset to my daily life? So I'm not living in a kind of trance of making assumptions about the way life is. And this trip is definitely constantly breaking my assumptions, challenging them, and it's thrilling, really.
For Francie, her first big travel adventure marks a new era in her life, one that involves an appreciation for travel and its benefits to her health.
I've worked really hard. I've loved my work. But all of a sudden, there was something that turned inside me and said, okay, that chapter is not over, but the importance of it in terms of the priority has shifted. And this trip really meant more to me than just a trip, because it was a beginning, or it is a beginning.
Life can often get in the way of a much-needed holiday. But traveling and taking some time off means a healthier body and mind. When you do travel, walk around during long flights to reduce the risk of blood clots. Stay hydrated and try your best to eat some healthy meals. For Vital Signs, I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
My name is Shrin Madapalli. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Accommable. I have a condition called spinal muscular atrophy. It's a genetic condition that I was born with. So essentially it means that I don't have much use of my arms and legs. I use a powered wheelchair for mobility, and I need the help of care assistants around the clock. As a wheelchair user, I was generally quite scared of traveling for most of my life. Up until I was the age of sort of 24, 25, I hadn't really ever traveled beforehand. Back in 2010, I took 6 months off to go traveling around the world, and it was my first experience of traveling as a disabled person. And it was an incredibly eye-opening experience in the sense that it was really difficult researching where to go, finding suitable properties, finding suitable transport, the whole host of things that I needed was really hard to find. And yeah, things did go wrong, but I managed to get through it in the end and had an amazing time. And ever since that, I've loved to travel as much as I can, and I've been desperate to try and make it easier. So we came up with the concept of Accommable last year, me and my friend Martin, who started the company with me. So we thought we could try and create a platform where we could find adapted properties from all around the world, vet them, and just make travel so much easier. We think this idea is innovative because we are trying to help a customer segment that just really has been underserved for many years and is often ignored by mainstream websites. So one of the first key things at the very beginning is to make sure the entrance is accessible. We find that a lot of properties do have a bit of a step to get in or a bit of a lip, but as you can see, it's practically flat to get in here. I am probably the toughest customer in the sense that I am building a product for myself. If it doesn't work for me, it's not something that I can ask other people to use. And I do think when you build something when you are also the customer, it allows you to get into the mind of a user far more easy and make sure that you can concentrate and focus on all aspects of the experience and make sure the product is as suitable as possible for your user. So as you can see in this room, space is quite nice. I can turn around without any issue. The other reason space is important is that I bring this piece of equipment with me called a lifting hoist. This is what's needed in order to pick me out of my chair and lift me into the bed. You'll find that when we're looking for properties, it's probably the bathroom that has the greatest level of variability. So we'd call this a roll-in shower, or sometimes it's called a wet room. A wheelchair user can either just wheel directly into the shower, or they can unfold this shower seat and transfer onto it. So this would be a bathroom that has a really good level of access and would be something very easy for me and a lot of other disabled people to use. We have a lot of big things coming up at the moment. We are in the final stages of closing a substantial investment round. We are also in the process of expanding our property portfolio through partnerships with HomeAway, where they will allow us access to their database of properties. We'll vet them and be able to list the properties which have been adapted on our site. We're also looking to branch out into other types of services. Some of our users need medical equipment, they need specialized transport. We're trying to form partnerships with other vendors of these services and bring them onto the Accommable platform. It's an incredible feeling to know that we are helping anybody, whether it's 1 million people or just one person. I think we try very hard to remind ourselves of this. It can sometimes be difficult because my team and I work really hard, we work around the clock. But we do try to make sure we remember that people have used our product and have enjoyed their trips. Success for Accommable would be when what we're trying to solve is no longer a problem. Travel for somebody with a mobility need or with a disability would no longer be something that would concern someone. It would be just a simple few-click process, book somewhere, go wherever you want, and travel would be just like how it would be for anybody else. When accessible travel is no longer actually a need or a problem, then we know we would have accomplished our goal. Oh.
题目超简单，却遇到脑筋大结的他。
一根肉，宝宝跑。
不能演，不能嘴巴不能有
原来琵琶癌，
琵琶癌，喷，皮卡丘，喷，
直接做成效果，
连舞台剧一哥也救不了他。
刷。
江湖罕见穿地圈表演，神奇羽毛平衡术。
哇，这个怎么去找这个支点呢？哦，
我好久没有看过那么傻眼的一个东西，哦，太不可思议了！
周六晚间8点，综艺非常赞，群星才艺对决大 PK，
请举牌。
面对观众无情的票决，一人校正丝毫不。
一起回来了，
一起回。
周六晚间8点，综艺非常赞。
上感人、上温暖的亲情大戏《阿爸的愿望》，6月7日起，每礼拜5暗时10点，《阿爸的愿望》。
过站不停是这个游戏的传统吗？
好不好？来喽，
慢步啊，况且
慢步。哪里来的？
漫步布丁哎！游泳池，
池上游。
上感人、上温暖的亲情大戏《阿爸的愿望》。廖俊、应采玲、杨烈、王豪、黄文兴、吴申梅、萧景宏、蔡昌宪、翁欣怡、曾婉婷、谭学斌、杨庆煌、练玉婷。
Cycling is a great way to get a workout and burn some calories. But like any number of sports or exercise routines, there's always the risk of injury. Here are some tips from the Cleveland Clinic on how to avoid getting hurt while you're out for a ride. First, practice proper technique. Make the ride a little easier by shifting down to a lower gear. Using a gear that's too high could hurt your knees. Speaking of knees, make sure your bike's seat is set for the right fit. A seat that's set too high or low can cause pain in that area. Don't overwork yourself. Whether you're an elite athlete or a weekend warrior, proper conditioning is essential. Make sure you're in the right shape for your cycling goals. That will lessen your chance of injury. Seeing a doctor for a yearly checkup is another way to safeguard yourself against injuries. An exam can pick up any problems you might need to know about for your cycling routine.
男子一边坐着办公，竟然一边扭腰摆臀，但可不是他习惯不好。
実はですね、この椅子座っている時の姿勢に合わせて座面が動くんです。
关键就在这张椅子，它能够前後左右360度摆動，又能像荡秋千一样回到原位，让人就算长时间坐着，也能够活动筋骨，舒缓紧绷的肌肉。
座りながら動き続けられるので、全く立ち上がった時痛くないですね。
上班族在办公室坐太久在所难免，而久坐带来的坏处可是非常多。
Our inactive bodies are suffering silently from back and neck problems, weakening immune system, slowing circulation, leading to brain fog, constipation.
为了解决久坐问题，全球各国都发挥创意。立陶宛也有研究团队推出这款摇摇木马椅，让人随时想动就动。不过，与其依赖椅子，还是定时站起来，全身动一动最健康。
你的办公室里是这样的景象吗？这个驼着背在用电脑，这个低着头在打手机，时间久了，这里痛那里酸。
Just stick it on your back and press the button. That's it. Upright would vibrate every time you slouch.
抗驼背的神器，号称每天佩戴15分钟，1个月后就能够见到效果。可以透过 App 查看你的身体转变，看看有没有挺直腰杆做人。爱弯腰驼背是现代人的文明病，调整 pose 的抗驼背神器不止一款，还有更简单的调整器，就像别针一样，别在衣服上，一样有提醒的效果。智慧坐垫靠着施力点的侦测来判别你有没有坐好坐满。如果你是低头族，脖子酸痛可能会是你的宿命。这款矫正器会像妈妈一样不厌其烦地提醒你该抬头挺胸了。
戴上高科技头罩 ，CNN 记者准备吃点心。
Should I try?
Yeah.
Okay.
其实 CNN 记者吃的是原味的饼干，但是他在吃的当下，旁边的机器喷了草莓巧克力的香气。
It does taste different.
日本科学家这几年一直在研究虚拟减肥法 ，VR 机器除了可以操控嗅觉，还能够改变视觉认知。
This second headset is all about portion control.
So right now, this is my normal hand and a normal size cookie.
I'll change the size, so more bigger. So I enlarged it. So can you feel that?
So now the cookie's bigger. So what happens when I take a bite of the bigger cookie? Do I feel like I've eaten more?
Yes.
Well, I guess I should try it, shouldn't I?
小小一块饼干吃下去却是大大的满足。明海博士说，只要改变使用者对尺寸的看法，大脑就会以为吃下去的食物比较大。戴上头罩吃饭，能够比平常少吃10%。日本走高科技，北美却回归原始。这几年吹起原始人减肥法。
It claims humans are eating the wrong things. Proponents assert that we should be eating the things that our human ancestors were eating and nothing else.
原始人减肥法，顾名思义，就是在饮食方面跟原始人一样，可以吃肉类、蔬菜、水果、海鲜等，不碰碳水化合物，还有乳制品、酒精。当然，加工食品也绝对禁止，用最天然的方式减掉多余的体重。还有人甚至会进行原始人健身法。 绳子、轮胎都是雕塑身材的利器。
You're going to be lunging, you're going to be squatting, you're going to be pushing, you're going to be pulling, you're going to be bending.
不管是饮食还是健身，医师提醒还是要量力而为，循序渐进才能够达到效果。
想拥有韩国男团的精壮好身材吗？现在网络上疯传这首神曲，只要跟着跳就能减肥，是真的吗？就是这首《妈妈咪呀》，我有测试，第一步先量体重，接着重点来了，不管身在何处，就是要热跳1小时。动作看似简单，却能运动到全身，跳完就会爆汗。第2周开始，身体习惯这个运动强度后，增加为每天跳2小时。2周下来，有人就瘦了6.3公斤。网友更说，这个减肥神曲因为运动量够大，还不用控制饮食，啤酒聚餐都可照吃。网络上甚至出现教学影片，但仔细研究这个舞蹈，其实动作就像改编有氧舞蹈，每天持续动2小时，不瘦也难，但还是要渐进，也要量力而为，不然没瘦下来之前，恐怕会先肌肉酸痛。
超简单却遇到脑筋大结的他，
一根肉，宝宝糖，
不能演，不能嘴巴不能有原来
琵琶癌，
琵琶癌，喷，皮卡丘，喷，
你这做什么效果？连舞台剧一哥也救不了他，
抓。
江湖罕见穿地圈表演，神奇羽毛平衡术。
哇，这个怎么去找这个支点呢？哦，
我好久没有看过那么傻眼的一个东西哦，太不可思议了！
周6晚间8点，综艺非常赞，群星才艺对决大 PK，
请举牌。
面对观众无情的票决，一人校正
来了，一起吼！
周6晚间8点，综艺非常赞。
ตอนแรกหลังจากที่เราเคยเป็นคนเชิดหุ่นอยู่ที่โรงละครเก่าที่สวนลุมไนท์บาซ่านะครับและตอนนั้นที่โรงละครเก่ามันปิดตัวลงรวมกันได้กลุ่มหนึ่งก็ ใช้บ้านอาจารย์เป็นที่ทำงานสีสันขาดไฮไลท์อะไรบางอย่างก็จึงอยากจะมีการแสดงให้เกิดขึ้นในบ้านพวกเราตอนนั้นก็อยากที่จะมีพื้นที่ทำการแสดงก็เลยตกลงมาทำการแสดงนะตั้งแต่วันนั้นครับก็ปีนี้เข้าสู่ปีที่ 6 แล้วก็โขนก็เป็นศิลปะการแสดงชั้นสูงซึ่งเริ่มถือกำเนิดมาจากการแสดงหนังใหญ่แล้วก็กระบี่กระบองของไทยนะครับถือว่าเป็นมหรสพอย่างหนึ่งที่มีคุณค่ามากนะครับถือว่าเป็นสิ่งที่ให้ความบันเทิงได้ดีมากกับคนในยุคสมัยตั้งแต่สมัยสมัยกรุงศรีอยุธยานะครับแรงบันดาลใจมันมาจากว่าสิ่งที่เราทำณตอนนี้มันคือมรดกของชาติมันเป็นศิลปะประจำชาติเราก็ภูมิใจในฐานะคนไทยที่ชีวิตหนึ่งเกิดมาก็ได้ตอบแทนคุณแผ่นดินแม่ด้วยการรักษาแบบนี้
美国知名的哈林花式篮球队来了一个嘉宾，一位即将要过109岁生日的任瑞。虽然年纪大，但他的心却一点都不老哦。跟着篮球员一起玩球，非常欢乐。在节目的最后，就一块来看看了。感谢您的收看，我是吴清颖，我们再会。